Record of Ragnarok chapter 76, and it is serving as the final chapter for this fight between Nikola Tesla and Beelzebub, the child of light and the god of darkness. So I am a little bit disappointed that it did end this chapter. I wanted it to continue. I'm sure you guys remember from my other videos on it, but I wanted the fight to have 2 more chapters because I thought that there was things that needed to be addressed that we had not gotten addressed yet. One, of course, being the emergence of Satan. That did not happen. And I'm just kind of thinking,
how the fuck would you show me something if I couldn't have it then?
I believe that we were going to see it because, number one, we've seen transformations from a lot of the god characters, and in this instance, we had already seen it shown to us. So it's almost like the foreshadowing was just really there, and I really thought that him and Tesla were going to have a bonded connection to where Beelzebub wanted to die, and, you know, he really respected Tesla. But, you know, things kind of got shifted when we found out that Beelzebub did want to win for Hades. And at that point, you kind of could see like, oh shit, they might not be going down the route where he's going to want to die, but ultimately still win. But let's get into it. For all intents and purposes, the chapter was still pretty good. Like, it was actually a pretty good chapter. I actually enjoyed the concluding moments of the fight. I thought it was pretty well done. We got to see some cool things. But as we get into it, I'll make note of some of the things I wanted to see. So we, of course, start right where we left off with Tesla kind of reinvigorating the crowd. You know, he had used that. It actually looks as if he did not use the final coil like we thought he did last chapter, because it still is intact on his chest, and he actually kind of uses it later. So I'm not really sure what the deal is with all that. Maybe the officials had some different translations. I don't think they did, though. So this is kind of weird. Somebody in the comments, let me know what you guys think about that. But he was trying to unite humanity as one. We got a shot of Jack the Ripper and his Valkyrie, Locke. They're watching. Locke was glued to the TV. She obviously loves Gondel, her sister. That's with Tesla. And she's very worried about her, rooting for her to win. And Jack says the only problem is how to break through that shield. Talking about Beelzebub's vibration shield. There's actually that statement that we've seen that he had the strongest spear and the strongest shield. So now he's using his shield. He's on the defensive against Tesla, as Tesla's the aggressor in this chapter. Obviously, it's always cool to see Jack, though. So we get to see that Tesla's still very fucked up from his wounds from the Chaos attack. Beelzebub's obviously really hurt too, taking the recoil plus whatever Tesla's been able to inflict on him. And they basically end up going and they keep clashing in the middle. And what keeps on happening is that Beelzebub keeps on blocking Tesla's punches. Tesla's using a ton of force, but Beelzebub is on the defensive, blocking it perfectly. And it's almost, it gets to a point where Tesla's like, if one doesn't work, I'm just going to keep on throwing until you can't block no more. And he throws out this crazy barrage, which is called Plasma Pulse Punch Mobius. It looks really cool. Obviously, it's insanely fast. But, you know, this is kind of weird because Beelzebub's shield doesn't like dissipate. It just is a constant that stays there. So, I mean, it doesn't really matter how fast these punches are going to be. That shield is still going to block it. I would assume that Tesla's intention was to try to break through the shield, but there was no indication that that was even close to happening. There was no crack in the shield or anything like that. I mean, it's not a physical shield. It's just a vibration shield. So it looked cool, though. We got some notes from Sasaki and Okita. They were watching, it's like, you know, giving credit to how fast the attack was and everything. And Beelzebub does look like he was struggling kind of, but he was, you know, he was holding firm, blocking the attack. He looked like he was straining. Obviously, you know, it's going to be hard to block, but, you know, the shield was holding up. And we get to see Edison, all the other scientists, of course, giving Tesla praise, as they always do. Then it cuts to Adamus, who is talking his normal shit. He actually goes as far as to say, Beelzebub, you better win or I'll kill you myself. And it's obviously like, bruh, this man Beelzebub will pack you up like a damn box of chocolates, bro. Like, you need to shut your mouth, bro. You standing by Zeus. You better hope Zeus is there with you if you run into Beelzebub. He actually makes a point that actually is somewhat smart for once. He says, the barrage that Tesla's using here is not going to last forever, which is true. He can't keep it up forever. All Beelzebub has to do is, you know, endure it and get through it. And Zeus is like, yo, you must really be betting on Beelzebub, kind of indicating that he doesn't really know who's going to win. We get a couple shots of Nikola Tesla's brother watching. Obviously, he's very worried, Dane Tesla. And then we get a very interesting statement which obviously these aren't the official translations, so this could be a little different. But if it is true, this is a very interesting statement. Now, we obviously know that Record of Ragnarok hypes up every character during their fight, so kind of take it with a grain of salt. You're still gonna have to like debate who you think would win, but this is a straight up statement that says the spear of the strongest scientist in human history, which really doesn't matter. Obviously, he's the strongest scientist. You know, I mean, that one's a no-brainer. But then the Beelzebub statement, or the shield of the strongest god of the underworld. That's very interesting. So that has ramifications. Obviously, you know, it could be like, well, shit, is Beelzebub stronger than Hades? We obviously saw Hades defeated Beelzebub, but that was in the past. Beelzebub was hurt. One loophole would be Hades is dead now, so he would not be included in this anymore. But this has ramifications for all the other gods of the underworld throughout all pantheons. We're going to see Anubis, a god of death. I mean, would he be in this category? I would say so. I'd say anybody in that death realm would be in this category. So, you know, they're stating that Beelzebub's the strongest. What do you guys think about that, if this is a true statement? Obviously, we're going to have to wait till the officials to see if that's legitimately what they said. But, you know, I have no reason to believe it isn't. And basically, you know, like I said, they keep clashing in that middle area. And finally, like, you know, Tesla's realizing, like, shit, this is not going to work, right? I can't break through the shield. So he comes up with something really cool. And I actually really like this. So Tesla crumbles first. You know, the barrage stops and, you know, he spits up some blood. And he falls to the ground, actually. Beelzebub knocks him to the ground. And he says, like, shit, I'm still taking heavy damage from that chaos attack. And the vibrations of the shield were actually still affecting him as he was punching it. He was taking damage from the vibrations that were hurting his already injured internal organs and stuff like that. So I thought that was a little cool development. Makes sense. So as he goes to the ground, you know, as Beelzebub knocks him to the ground, Beelzebub stands over him, says it's over, and goes to chop him down with his hand. You know, his hand that can vibrate, cut through people. It's almost like the Flash's ability where he just phases through somebody's heart. And right as he's going to chop down on Tesla, Tesla's like, the time has drowned, and he springs back up, surprises Beelzebub, and goes Plasma Pulse Punch Jet. But only this time, he says, thank you, God. And he uses his final coil. So this is what I was talking about. I thought last chapter he used his final coil, but it was still intact. Although it looks like it was cracked, so I guess maybe he tapped into it a little bit. But he finally does use it here. And his arm just gets ripped off. You're like, what the fuck just happened? Like, did something happen? Like, Beelzebub cut it off somehow? No, he actually teleported his arm like a boss. So he used his last coil to use the Tesla warp, but he didn't Tesla warp his whole body. He Tesla warped his fucking right arm. He amputated his right arm and shot it, teleported, so it would come and hit Beelzebub from the back as he was gonna try to hit him from the front. You know what I'm saying? Pause. But that's what the fuck he tried to do. Beelzebub is completely shook. Like, this is a crazy attack. It was an awesome attack. And it looks like Tesla's got him on the ropes, everything. Zeus is like, what the fuck? Like, Zeus is so impressed by Tesla. Like, what kind of guy is he? And just as the attack's going to hit, you see Beelzebub looking. He's trying to figure out what he's going to do. So he puts the staff behind him, goes to block. But he's like, fuck that block. And then he fucking uses that phase hand. And he ends up phasing straight through the heart of Tesla. That Tesla attack, by the way, was called Plasma Pulse Cross. It was pretty dope. But yes, the unavoidable pincer attack was countered with offense. So this whole chapter, Beelzebub has been going defense. Now he's going offense. And this phase attack straight to the heart in an awesome scene. This is the end of Tesla. He used his two fingers. His whole hand didn't go through. He just used two fingers. Went straight through his heart. Pierced straight through the suit that was already damaged. You see all the reaction of the crowd. It's a pretty awesome scene. And Beelzebub kills Tesla here. Tesla's last words were like, you noticed, didn't you? Damn, you were one step ahead of me. So almost giving him praise. Like, shit, did Beelzebub really outsmart the smartest human in human history? No, Beelzebub ends up denying it and says, no, I didn't notice. I just knew that you would not be so foolish as to go head to head with me. I knew there had to be a trick up your sleeve. I didn't know what it was going to be, but I knew you wouldn't just go into a battle of force against me. He said, I just trusted you. That's it. I didn't have the inside scoop. I just trusted that your knowledge, somebody like you would not challenge me like that. And Tesla said it's an honor. Again, the common theme, they have full respect. If you remember in the beginning, Beelzebub was discrediting him, didn't think he was going to be the one, didn't respect him. And now Beelzebub respects Tesla. Tesla respects Beelzebub. And Tesla dies standing up like Whitebeard. He says to humanity, raise your heads. Through this fight, we have evolved once again. As long as we do not give up in science, in humanity, Ragnarok will never come. I like that line. Hope it stays in the officials. But I like that line. Ragnarok will never come. Gondol is shown, obviously, as Valkyrie, as his suit is breaking down, as the crystallization process is happening. And she's got a smile on her face. Again, another Valkyrie, loving her human. She's willing to die with them, is what it is. Gol obviously freaking out about her sister dying. They die together. They crystallize. And right as he is fading away, Tesla keeps on going. He says, humanity, look forward. Don't stop. Humanity, humanity, humanity. Advance forward. And that is the last words of the great man Nikola Tesla. And we actually get to see what he looked like without the suit, which we had seen prior, but like without a shirt. And this man was jacked up. Like, he was jacked. So I didn't think he was built under the suit. I thought he was just like kind of skinny and the mech suit was the only way, but no, like he's got huge ass muscles under there. So Tesla was in the gym, bro. He ain't just no scientist. He got that bro science going on too. So he was looking dope. I like the concluding moments of the fight. I really like the innovation Tesla used with the plasma pulse cross punch. I thought that was awesome. Kind of wish it hit. But you know, it is what it is. I expected Beelzebub to win this fight. You know, if you guys watch my other videos, my theory and my hope for this conclusion was that this chapter was going to lead to Tesla getting the upper hand on Beelzebub, looking like Tesla was going to win. So this whole thing could have happened, right? And it gets to a point where, you know, Tesla it maybe hits Beelzebub with that cross punch, and it looks like Beelzebub's going to die, and Beelzebub finally accepts that he's finally going to die. He's happy. And right at that moment, Satan would emerge. And then that will lead us to the next chapter where Satan was dog walking Tesla. And then I was hoping that we got to see Tesla's death ray. We never got to see it. It's his weapon of mass destruction, this great mythological type of weapon that we've heard of that Tesla drew up that we never got to see. And I wish we got to see it, man. Like, that would have been his final trump card. I would have loved to see it. You know, something that he was holding back because he was going to die if he used it. And the way I would have done it is he used the death ray to somehow, some way separate Satan from Beelzebub by killing the Satan being that's residing within Beelzebub. And then Beelzebub would, by default, be the last man standing and win the fight. That's how I wanted to see it end. If you want to hear more in depth, like with a little bit more detail, you could check out my video, Tesla Will Vanquish Satan. Obviously, that has aged poorly because Tesla lost. But what do you guys think? Do you guys enjoy the end of this fight? Did you guys find it to be a satisfying conclusion? Are you happy Beelzebub won? Tesla died standing up just like Adam, just like Whitebeard in One Piece. But Adam died standing up in this series. I thought Tesla was a great character. I like the fight. I'm okay with it, but I am a little bit disappointed. But this means we are going to be moving on to new fighters in the next, well, probably not in the next chapter. They usually do like a bridge chapter, but maybe. But we're moving on to the next fight, round number 10. Who do you guys think is coming up next? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Hey, if you guys enjoy this video and want to see more content like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button, drop a like, share it with a friend. All that helps the channel immensely.